Good evening, my fellow souls that are trapped in this purgatory. Um, it's February 13th. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, right? And it's day 25 of the Trump presidency. We have yet to make it one full month. But I got this guy. He wants to say hi. There's a Bixie. He's a good man. Oh, Lord, help us all. RFK was confirmed as the health secretary today. So I wanted to know, what are the ramifications of having a man with part of his brain gone due to a hungry worm? What are the ramifications of that, having that man as the health secretary? All right, listen, Bixie, get your tail out of here. Sorry, we're having a little chaos. So he's going to be overseeing. Okay, dear Lord, I'm very sorry. He's going to. Okay, he's going to have to. I'm going to have to fire Bixie. I'm sorry. So RFK is going to be overseeing the CDC, the FDA, the NIH. Oh my God, we're having technical difficulties. Get out of here, man. Jeez. The National Institute of Health, the CDC, the FDA, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid. So when the Republicans say that they want to destroy Medicare and Medicaid, it's probably going to happen. I'm sorry to say. I don't know if you guys had the unfortunate experience of hearing this, a couple of months back before Trump was even confirmed, but RFK, it's not funny, but it's so like far out there and psychotic. He wants to put depressed people onto farms. I'm not kidding. He wants to take them off their medication and put them on farms. So, like, if that's any indication of what is to come, just saying, like, we're all doomed. I feel very fortunate not to be on any medication at all. That is, I think, a rarity these days. But now even more so, because I don't want to be on the Adderall farms. I don't want to be on the Xanax farms, man. I just can't, dude. I don't know. I think that we died in 2012 and this is purgatory. $20 billion that were given in grants for various green projects in our country. Obviously, Trump is planning to cancel all of them. Biden set these grants up. It's for infrastructure, for various green projects, probably for green, transportation, not just for individuals, but for green buses. And I mean, I don't know what all of it is, but it doesn't matter now, does it? It doesn't matter anymore because it's over. We're going to get back into those coal mines, bitch. Get back in there. Breathe in the black. The smoke, the black smoke is all that matters. The ACLU is suing for access to the migrants that were moved to Guantanamo. I sure hope that they hurry. It's a very scary situation for anyone. I saw another headline saying something about Florida wanting to institute the death penalty for criminal migrants. So gross, bro. Oh, here's a cute little side note. What are they calling them? Okay, so Republicans, this was like a hot mic type of situation, but not a hot mic situation. It's like basically people who work in government leaked that Republicans are referring to anyone who isn't a white Christian as, are they calling them incidentals? They're calling them something like that. Undesirables. Something like that. I'm not kidding. I'm not fucking kidding. They're saying that about any minority, any LGBT person. Yeah. That's a real fucking thing that's happening. Which I have more incredibly racist, scary shit to tell you later. Hamas is saying that it is going to release the hostages this weekend, which I think is honestly the only move they have. It's the smart move, even though the truth is, I don't believe that Israel is going to hold up any sort of deal regardless. But at least it will point out, like, Israel is using every false step that Palestine makes to blame Palestine. So it's important to just dot every I and cross every T so that they can't do that on a world stage. Is anyone going to step in and stop these psychos? I don't know. Probably not. I mean, no one has so far. And no one seems to be stopping Trump either. They're all really freaking out. And I get it. I get it. A lot of these organizations that relied on leaders abiding by general social cues and norms and rules and laws, they can't do that anymore. They can't. It's been demolished by this group of sociopathic men that, these men are in power. I don't know what to say. In any case, hopefully the hostages will get to go home, and fingers crossed that Israel doesn't continue to do the worst things imaginable, but I don't have confidence that they won't. Speaking of wars, Zelensky is saying he's not going to agree to any kind of peace deal with Putin unless he has an actual seat at the table, because right now Trump is negotiating directly with Putin and acting like Ukraine is an aside, that they don't matter, and that anything that they're asking for is not important. So Zelensky is just basically saying, like, okay, well, then we're not going to stop fighting. And other countries are freaking out about that. So NATO is, now the other cat is here and she's got claws. They both have claws, but I did cut Bixie's claws because he wrestles with the puppy all the time. I need to cut hers too, but she's very gentle. NATO is freaking out. They're not good. Obviously, again, like, they can't rely on Trump, and Trump basically made some sort of statement to NATO saying, like, NATO, I think Pete Hegseth might be, like, in charge of some of this. Fucking not good. Like, NATO's not a priority to them at all. I think they want to dissolve NATO, actually. So, and I think that NATO can see that, and, like, the United States is no longer an ally to anyone. Let's just call it spade a spade. We are no longer allies to anyone. We're not even an ally to our own fucking citizens. So, if I were any other country, I would not rely on you can't rely on help from the United States, obviously. They've taken all their money back, but, like, you can't rely on the United States being predictable in any way. So, yeah, I think other countries are right to have really intense levels of concern right now. It's concerning. So there are pro-Hitler ads running on X right now. Sorry, I just had to take a moment with that. Sometimes, like, when I work all day, I see this stuff, and then I, like, eat dinner, I sit down, I do my notes for these videos, and sometimes it, like, doesn't really hit me until I'm sitting here and talking to you guys. Unreal. I think we all knew the things that were possible with a second Trump presidency, but still to see these things happening is taking my breath away. And I know that many of you feel the same way. Again, a piece of me wonders, like, why are they not just completely out with it now? Like, why are they not just, like, openly talking about it? They're still, he's not really denying it. He went on and, like, just made a bunch of jokes after people were upset about the salute. So like he's not denying it, but he's also not just like, I'm a Nazi, the way that Kanye is doing. Which, like, I saw something that said that Kanye changed his name to Yitler, and I literally don't know if it's a joke or not, and I didn't look it up because I'm just like, I don't really want to know. I did also see today he's probably getting a divorce. I guess good for her. His wife is leaving. There was something in the news about him asking for a conservatorship and for her to be in charge of all of his money. And I'm guessing that like went sideways somewhere. And now she's just running for her life, which is probably for the best. So the German chancellor is calling for a state of emergency because of what's happening with Ukraine and Trump and Putin. Because understand that like the role that the United States, I understand that there's like a lot of leftists that are like extremely anti-US, but the United States has kept the world order stabilized in many ways because other countries were scared of the United States, but in a way that like was predictable to other countries. Other countries felt like they could predict what the United States was going to do, and it kind of kept everything sort of like floating along for a period of time. Well, now that the United States really isn't going to be participating as a member of NATO, and we're not going to stop Russia from, or even give a shit what Russia is doing. I mean, they're helping Russia. Like Trump and Putin are one entity. So now that they're going to just allow dictators to do whatever they want with no consequence, like United States is not going to be there to dole out those consequences as the United States essentially always has been. Other countries are shaking in their boots because the ramifications for the rest of the world are very serious. Like that means that because Putin has had a wet dream about taking over the United States as the number one superpower for a long time. And he's not going to be as nice about it as the United States has been. And again, like, yeah, the United States has done a bajillion horrible, evil, disgusting things. Still, he's going to be worse. This is almost the same as the argument of like the people that are like, oh, the Democrats and the Republicans. Okay, she's trying to jump on my lap and she's falling off. So I had to like do a one-armed, very sloppy save. Anyways, it's the same as the argument of like the Democrats and the Republicans are the same. It's two wings of the same bird. Well, now I think we can say, no, the fuck it isn't. No, it's fucking not. Are the Democrats awesome? Absolutely not. They were keeping the status quo. And I understand that there's a lot of people, and myself included at times, that have wanted to see the status quo go away and something better to come along. Here's the problem with that. When the status quo goes away, it actually just creates an opportunity for dictators to swoop in. And that's what's happening, babe. That's what's happening. That's what always happens. That's why you don't want rapid, chaotic change, because it often leads to something way fucking worse. So, I mean, the world is in danger. The world is in serious danger right now. It's, again, there's like moments where it takes my breath away. And I think it's really important to remember that even if you generally feel okay throughout your days right now, your nervous system is in a heightened state. So you need to like recognize that. And if you do feel like you're having a panic attack or anything like that, just reassure yourself like you're safe and that's normal. It's normal to be having panic attacks right now, or to just feel extra anxiety, to be eating too much or too little. All these things, like we're having a very normal animal, mammalian reaction to our herd being threatened, our survival being threatened. That is what is happening. And we know that. And it's a scary time to be a person. No matter what country you're in. Other countries are freaking out. They're very scared. And they should be. So I'm jumping around here a little bit because I wanted to give you guys a break from some of the like heavier stuff, although this isn't great news by any stretch of the imagination. But the average age of a first-time home buyer has now settled out at 38 years old. That is up from 28 years old in 1991. Obviously, we know all the reasons why. Like the wages have been suppressed for about 70 years. We haven't seen a true wage increase in about 70 years. And not only that, but obviously like the prices of literally absolutely everything have gone up. And as a homeowner, like this is the second home I've bought, I can tell you it eats up my entire paycheck having a house. And like, you also have to worry about like when things break, will I be able to keep up with the repairs and all that kind of stuff? Like having a home is a big fucking pain in the ass. And I also don't really think that we're meant to just live in a house by ourselves. Like I am not somebody who truly believes in the nuclear family because I think we should probably be living multi-generationally if we really want to solve all these problems. And I understand why people don't want to do that. Like, listen, I get it. But it would be better for the kids. It would be better for the grandparents. It would be better for the parents. And maybe we could actually get out of this economic hole that they've placed us in. In any case, it's just not the way that things are right now. And so the way that the world is, like people are not able to get to the same places financially or in life in general until much older because of that, because they're not making enough money. And that's why they're not having children. It's why, a lot of people are completely opting out. I really believe that the wage suppression, I've always believed that wage suppression is really the core issue here. I think it's causing some of the infighting, that's happening in this country. I think if people were making more money and people felt safer and happier and they were hanging out with their families and going on vacation, I don't think we would be seeing this level of hatred. I don't think that dating would be breaking down the way it is. I think that young men have no self-esteem because they're not making enough money. And I'll be honest with you, all the guys that I've dated in the last, or even talked to, I'm trying to think, there's only been a couple people that made more money than me in the last decade. And many of those same men have said things to me about feeling insecure about themselves or feeling like I was better than them. And I don't think that I'm peculiar in any way. I know for a fact the data is showing that women are making more money than men frequently. Women are buying more homes on their own than men are at this point. So this imbalance that's being caused, in our society in general, where people are, even women are still not making enough money, right? Women and men are not making enough money, but it is causing all kinds of fighting. People are fighting. People hate each other right now. And a lot of it is also being caused by propaganda, obviously. But it's a problem when people are not making enough money. And it brings people to their knees and it allows people to believe lies like Trump. I believe that a lot of the reason why we have so many MAGA people is because of our financial situation. In any case, Trump and Elon Musk had like a backdoor contract for Tesla to create $400 million worth of armored police vehicles. And it literally said it in a line item. It said Tesla's name and it said what it was for. They went back in after the news broke because it got all over. It's all over the news. They went back in and they edited the word Tesla and just wrote electric vehicles. And now they're openly denying it. But I mean, again, I didn't even tell you guys this. Elon Musk is making $80 million a day in government contracts right now. $80 million a day. And he has a role in the government. So if this is not the most blatant illegal corruption you've ever seen, The White House has been expanding the power that DOGE actually has. I mean, we are in serious fucking trouble. This is an unelected, unconfirmed, not just one official, an entire organization within our government that has been given basically this more power than the CIA and the FBI. Like, they have the power to fire the CIA and the FBI, and they're going in and doing that. This is some fucked up shit. And speaking of fucked up shit, this pisses me the fuck off. Democratic leaders like Hakeem Jeffries and other members of Congress, Senate, etc., are angry at their constituents for calling them and asking them to get off their fucking asses and do something. And no, I'm not kidding. Literally, they're angry. That's crazy to me. And that makes it really truly seem like, oh yeah, like some people on the left have possibly been paid off as well. Liberals, Democratic leaders. If they don't stand to gain something from this, then tell me, how can they fucking watch what's happening and tell us to calm down? They should be way more freaked out than we are. It's just not, it's not a good sign. And I think it really points out that, like, we cannot, people that are on the payroll of insider trading in the government, which is all of them, you cannot count on those people to do anything about this because they're comfortable and they want to keep their seats at all costs, because they're making millions of dollars with stocks like Nancy Pelosi. I hate to be that fucking person. I want to believe that these people have some goddamn integrity, but they just don't. Like, they keep showing us that they don't. I'm not saying none of them do. I will love Bernie Sanders with my last dying breath. I'm going to be a train wreck when he dies. I'm not going to be okay. I need him to live another 35 years. Thank God this is the last fucking thing I wanted to tell you. And this actually relates back to what I was telling you before. So in 1950, roughly 50% of women were married by the age of 24. And now it's down to 10%. All of these things are tied together. They can't force women because we have rights now. We can have bank accounts. Women could not have a bank account until the late 70s. I'm dead fucking serious. You couldn't have, there was only a few jobs available to women. You couldn't own property. You had to get married. You had no choice. You had nowhere to go. It was dire straits. And so that's what women did because there wasn't another option. And now, instead of having to marry men that sometimes physically abused them before their wedding even, women can choose to not interact with someone who's treating them like shit if they don't want to. And that's not conducive to capitalism. We're not pumping out enough babies for them. And in particular, we're not pumping out enough white babies for the people that are fucking having a coup in our government right now. They are very, very, very concerned about the fact that by 2030, I think, the population of minorities in this country will have surpassed the population of white people. And white babies are not being replaced. Anyways, I hate it here. Why the fuck did I come to this planet? It was a mistake. I made a big mistake. But there's no way out now. So, I mean, there is, but you're not going to like it. I'm sorry. I like every single show. It's just the death jokes, you know? Anyways, I hope that you guys are functioning. And if you're not, though, again, don't beat yourself up. I'm very high functioning when there's a lot of chaos because I grew up with a lot of chaos. So this is comfortable for me, unfortunately. Even though that's really unhealthy, my nervous system knows all about this energy and knows how to survive and live in it, breathe in it. But it's an acquired skill that you shouldn't have, and you shouldn't need it. We shouldn't have to live through this. But that being said, previous generations have lived through this and worse. We will do it again. All of World War II only took about 8 years. I've been trying to remind myself of that particular fact a lot. Like, we don't know, maybe this will be over kind of fast. Maybe even faster than World War II because of the internet. Like, fingers crossed. Hopefully it won't be over because of a giant bomb. Sorry. It's not funny. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow.